The crystal trophy felt like ice in his hands. For a few seconds, everything in the ballroom just froze. The clapping died down. People stopped talking. Even the music went off. And there he was.
My God, this can't be real.
What? What happened?
It's over. Everything is over.
Dr. Harrison, this is Carol from Grace Haven Family Shelter. Your wife Rebecca and daughters checked in 4 days ago. She asked me to contact you. Please call immediately. He knew that shelter. He donated to it. Written checks with his name stamped. At the top. Smiled for photos at their charity galas. He had funded beds for families in crisis, never imagining his own wife and daughters would sleep in one. The presenter's voice echoed through the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philadelphia Medical Association's Physician of the Year, Dr. Robert Harrison. But Robert couldn't move. Because 4 days ago, while he was performing a groundbreaking surgery that made headlines, his family of 23 years had walked through the doors of a homeless shelter with nothing but suitcases and shame. His daughters, his brilliant, beautiful daughters, didn't have a home. Before we dive deeper into this story that will shatter everything you think you know about success, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're new here, click that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. This is the story of Dr. Robert Harrison, a man who spent 25 years climbing from the projects of South Philadelphia to the pinnacle of American medicine, only to discover that while he was building an empire of achievement, his family was crumbling in silence. But what really led to his wife and daughters ending up in that shelter, the problems at home, the decisions he made, all of it, was worse than he ever expected. And it didn't start with something big. It started with a dream, and the day he chose to become a doctor. It started with a dream and a full-ride scholarship. 28 years earlier, Robert had stood in his mother Helen's tiny kitchen in the Richard Allen Homes, holding an acceptance letter from Harvard Medical School. His mother, who'd raised him alone after his father left, worked double shifts as a nursing assistant at Temple University Hospital. She read the letter 3 times, her hands trembling, tears streaming down her weathered face. "Baby," she whispered. "You're going to be somebody." "I already am somebody, Ma." "No." She gripped his shoulders. "You're going to be the kind of somebody that people respect. The kind that can't be ignored. The kind that changes things." Robert grew up feeling invisible. Teachers didn't expect much from him. Store owners watched him like he didn't belong there. Police stopped him just for walking in his own neighborhood. He learned young that if he wanted respect, he had to work twice as hard to earn it. So he became excellent. At Harvard, while other students went to parties, Robert studied. When they took weekends off, he worked extra shifts at the campus clinic. When they talked about their trust funds and summer homes in the Hamptons, Robert smiled politely and returned to the library where he belonged. He graduated top of his class. Matched into the most competitive pediatric surgery residency in the country at Johns Hopkins. And that's where he met Rebecca. She was a social worker in the pediatric oncology ward. Robert noticed her because she was the only person who seemed to understand that sick children needed more than medicine, they needed someone to see them as more than their diagnosis. "You're good with patients," Robert said one evening after a rough case. It was a young girl with a brain tumor the surgeons couldn't remove. Rebecca looked up from where she sat with the girl's family. "Someone has to be. The prognosis is terminal." "I know. But that doesn't mean she should spend her last months feeling alone." They started talking during late shifts. Coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into long walks where Robert found himself saying things he'd never told anyone. About the projects. About his mother working herself sick. About the weight of being the one who made it out. Rebecca understood in a way that felt like oxygen. She came from money. Her father Dennis was a successful attorney in Boston, her mother Patricia taught literature at Boston College. But Rebecca had rejected that comfortable path. She wanted to help people who couldn't help themselves. "You're different from anyone I've ever met," Robert told her on their 3rd date. "Different how?" "You chose this." You didn't have to fight your way here. You could be anywhere, doing anything. But you chose the hardest, most thankless work there is. Rebecca smiled. Maybe we're not so different. You're fighting to prove you belong. I'm fighting to prove there's more to life than belonging. They got married 2 years later, a small ceremony with Robert's mother crying in the front row and Rebecca's parents smiling with reservation they tried to hide. Robert didn't care. He'd found something he didn't know he was looking for, someone who saw him not as a project kid who got lucky, but as a man worth building a life with. Their first daughter, Emily, was born during Robert's fellowship year. He held her in the hospital room, this tiny perfect thing, and made a promise. You'll never want for anything. You'll never feel invisible. You'll never have to fight just to be seen. She'll have that and more. Everything I didn't have. Every opportunity. Every advantage. Robert. I'm serious, Becca. Our daughter is going to have the world. 2 years later, their second daughter Sarah was born. And Robert worked harder. He joined a well-respected practice. Started taking every surgery, every consultation, every opportunity to build his reputation. Within 5 years, he was known as one of the best pediatric surgeons on the East Coast. Within 10, he was lecturing at conferences, publishing groundbreaking research, performing procedures that other surgeons said were impossible. The money came. First a nice apartment in a good neighborhood. Then a house in the suburbs with a yard and good schools. Then a bigger house in an even better suburb. Private schools for the girls. Piano lessons. Summer camps. College funds that grew faster than Robert could track. Rebecca managed everything at home. She'd stopped working when Emily was born, a decision they'd made together, though Robert sometimes wondered if together had really meant Robert convinced her it made sense. The girls need stability, he'd said. Someone home when they get back from school. Someone who can be present. And you can't be present. I'm building something, Becca. For all of us. Someone has to. The years blurred together in a cascade of achievements. Department head at Pennsylvania Hospital. Humanitarian missions to perform free surgeries in developing countries. A profile in Philadelphia magazine titled The Surgeon Who Never Stops. Emily got into Princeton. Sarah got into Yale. Robert's mother, before she died, held his hand and whispered, "You did it, baby. You became somebody." But he'd missed things. Dance recitals that ran late when surgery ran long. Parent-teacher conferences that got rescheduled. Birthdays celebrated a week late because of an emergency case. Dinners where his chair stayed empty because a patient needed him more than his family did. "It's okay, Daddy," Emily would say, mature beyond her years. "We understand. You're saving lives." Rebecca stopped saying it was okay. She just stopped saying much at all. The fractures started small. Hairline cracks that Robert told himself were normal. Every marriage had stress. Every family had rough patches. Rebecca started therapy. She didn't tell Robert at first. He found out when he saw a charge on their credit card for a Dr. Michelle Saunders, psychologist. "You're seeing a therapist?" he asked over dinner. The girls were in college. The house felt too big with just the two of them. "Yes." "Why didn't you tell me?" Rebecca looked at him with something that might have been pity. "When would I have told you? Between your surgery schedule and your conference calls? Or maybe during one of the 3 dinners we've had together in the past month. That's not fair. Isn't it?" She set down her fork. "Robert, when's the last time you asked me how I'm doing? I ask you all the time." "No. You ask if everything's okay. If the bills are paid. If the girls need anything. You ask about logistics. You never ask about me." Robert felt defensive. "I'm working for this family. You're working near this family. There's a difference." He wanted to argue. But she wasn't wrong. So he did what he always did when confronted with something uncomfortable. He went back to work. The girls came home for Christmas break during Emily's junior year and Sarah's freshman year. Robert had blocked off the entire week, determined to prove Rebecca wrong. He was present. He was engaged. But on Christmas Eve, his phone rang. The patient was 3 years old. Liver failure. The team was preparing for an emergency transplant. If Robert didn't do it, the child would die. "I have to go," he told Rebecca. She was decorating the tree with the girls. She didn't turn around. "Of course you do. Becca, a child's life." "I know." Her voice was flat. "Go save the child. You're very good at saving other people's children." Emily and Sarah exchanged glances. Robert felt the weight of their disappointment, but what choice did he have? Let a child die to string popcorn and hang ornaments. He was gone for 14 hours. The surgery was a success. The parents sobbed with gratitude. Robert came home to a dark house and cold leftovers. Rebecca had gone to bed. The girls were in their rooms. The perfectly wrapped presents under the tree looked like an accusation. After the girls went back to school, Rebecca sat him down. "I want you to cut back your hours." "Becca." "I'm not asking anymore, Robert. I'm telling you. Cut back or I'm leaving." The words hit like a fist. "You can't be serious." "I've never been more serious about anything in my life. I've given you everything. This house. This life. The girl's education. You've given us everything except you." Her voice cracked. "I've been married to a ghost for 20 years. The girls have a father they see in photographs and hear about from other people. Your dad's amazing. Your dad saved my daughter. Your dad's a hero. But to us, you're just the man who's never here. That's not true. When's Emily's birthday?" Robert froze. "May." "May what?" "I don't." "May 15th. 17th. And Sarah?" He couldn't remember. Couldn't pull the date from his mind even though he'd been there the day she was born. Rebecca's face crumpled. "You don't even know your own daughter's birthdays." "I'm under a lot of stress." "So am I." She was crying now. "I've been alone in this marriage for so long I forgot what it felt like not to be alone. I raised our daughters by myself. I've managed this house, this life, everything by myself. And I'm done, Robert. I'm so tired of being alone while married." Robert felt a sudden knot in his throat. "I'll cut back," he said. "I promise. I'll hand off more work." "I'll?" "You've been saying that for 15 years. This time I mean it." Rebecca looked at him with exhausted eyes. "Okay." But he didn't cut back. Because 3 weeks later, he was nominated for Physician of the Year by the Philadelphia Medical Association. The award ceremony was in 6 months. If he won, it would cement his legacy. Open doors for even bigger opportunities. "I just need to get through this award season," he told Rebecca. "Then I'll scale back. I promise." She didn't respond. Just nodded in that way that meant she'd stopped believing him. If you're still watching up to now, type "I'm still here" in the comment section. The call came on a Tuesday. Emily, now 22 and in her first year of law school, phoned at 2 a.m. Robert was at the hospital, reviewing surgical notes. He almost didn't answer. "Dad." Her voice was small. Childlike. "Em? What's wrong? Are you okay?" "I need to tell you something." She was crying. "I've been keeping a secret." Robert's heart stopped. "What kind of secret?" "Mom's sick." The world tilted. "What?" "She has breast cancer. Stage 3. She's been in treatment for 8 months. Robert couldn't breathe. 8 months. Why didn't she tell me? She did tell you, Dad. 3 times. You said you'd make her appointments, but you kept getting called into surgery. You said you go to her oncology consults, but you kept having emergencies. Eventually, Sarah and I started taking her instead. The words were knives. I don't remember. I know you don't. That's the problem. Robert's hand shook. How bad is it? The treatment isn't working. Her doctors want to try an aggressive chemo protocol, but it's expensive and our insurance is denying coverage because they're calling it experimental. How expensive? $200,000. Maybe more. Robert's mind raced. They had money. Investments. The house. We'll figure it out. I'll cash out my retirement if I have to. Dad. Emily's voice broke. There's more. More. Mom filed for divorce 6 weeks ago. She's taking her half of everything. The house is being sold. And she's refusing your money for treatment. She says she doesn't want anything from you anymore. The phone slipped from Robert's hand. He picked it up with numb fingers. Where is she? Put her on the phone. She doesn't want to talk to you. Emily, put your mother on the phone right now. She's not here, Dad. She's at Sarah's apartment. They both moved out last month. They didn't tell you because you're never home anyway. Robert stood up, his chair clattering backward. I'm coming there. Right now. Don't. Please. Mom said if you show up, she's going to file to keep you away from her. Keep me away? She's my wife. Not for much longer. Emily was sobbing now. Dad, she's given up. On the marriage, on the treatment, on everything. She says she's tired of fighting. She just wants peace. I can fix this. I can? You can't fix everything. Emily's voice was raw. That's what you never understood. Some things can't be fixed with money or intelligence or working harder. Some things require you to actually be present. To see the people you love instead of just providing for them. I was providing for you. For all of you. We didn't need a provider, Dad. We needed a father. We needed a husband. We needed you to choose us just once. Just one time, pick us over the hospital. Over the patients. Over your career. I did choose you. Everything I did was for you. No. Emily's voice was quiet now. Final. Everything you did was for you. To prove you weren't that kid from the projects anymore. To prove you belonged. But you proved it so hard that you forgot who you were proving it to. And now Mom's dying and you weren't even there to notice. The line went dead. Robert drove to Sarah's apartment. Pounded on the door at 3 a.m. until the neighbors threatened to call the police. His daughters wouldn't let him in. He could hear Rebecca coughing on the other side of the door, a wet, clattering sound that told him Emily wasn't exaggerating. Becca, he shouted through the door. Please. Let me help. Let me do something. Sarah's voice, cold and hard. You've done enough, Dad. Go home. This is my family. Your family doesn't live here anymore. Robert slept in his car that night. In the morning, he tried to call his lawyer, but discovered Rebecca had already filed all the paperwork. The divorce was uncontested. She was asking for nothing except her half of their assets and to be left alone. He tried to force payment for her treatment through their shared bank account. She transferred the money back. He tried to contact her oncologist directly. HIPAA laws prevented any discussion without Rebecca's permission. She denied it. He showed up at her appointments. She got a temporary restraining order. His daughters stopped answering his calls. And through it all, Robert had the award ceremony coming up. The biggest professional achievement of his life. A validation of every sacrifice, every missed dinner, every choice that had seemed so necessary at the time. The awards committee called to confirm his attendance. I might need to postpone, Robert said. Dr. Harrison, this is a big honor. The mayor will be there. The press too. This could change your career. The words tasted like ash. I'll be there, Robert heard himself say. He told himself he'd go to the ceremony, accept the award quickly, and then use the platform to raise money for Rebecca's treatment. Make a speech about it. Rally support. Do something meaningful with the attention. But first, he had to get through the next few weeks of surgeries already scheduled. Patients depending on him. Other people's children who needed saving. He threw himself into work harder than ever. 18-hour days. 20-hour days. If he stopped moving, he had to think about Rebecca's cough, his daughter's silence, the family disintegrating while he perfected his acceptance speech. The day before the award ceremony, Emily called. Mom's in the hospital. Robert was already grabbing his coat. Which one? I'm coming. Dad, no. That's not why I'm calling. I need to see her. She doesn't want to see you. She asked me to tell you something. Robert's hand froze on the doorknob. What? She said to tell you she forgives you. And she hopes you finally get everything you worked for. The words should have been comforting. They felt like goodbye. Please. I need to talk to her. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. She's sedated, Dad. The pain was too much. They have her on strong painkiller. Emily's voice cracked. The doctors say it's time to think about hospice. No. No, there are other treatments. Experimental trials. I can call colleagues, pull strings. She doesn't want to fight anymore. Well, I do. Robert was shouting now. I'm fighting for her whether she wants me to or not. That's always been your problem, Dad. You fight for people. You save people. You fix people. But you never just loved people. Love isn't something you do to someone. It's something you do with them. And you were never with us. You were always just doing things at us. The line went dead. The award ceremony arrived. Robert stood backstage in his custom tuxedo, a speech about dedication and sacrifice folded in his pocket. The ballroom was full of some of Philadelphia's most respected doctors. A string quartet played in the background, and people walked around with glasses of champagne. People who'd never missed their children's birthdays celebrating people who saved children's lives. His phone buzzed. A text from Carol at Grace Haven Shelter. The message that would change everything. He read it once. Twice. 3 times. Rebecca and his daughters. In a homeless shelter. For 4 days. His wife was dying. His daughters were in a shelter. And he was about to accept an award for humanitarian service. The absurdity of it crashed over him like a wave. He pulled out his phone with shaking hands, called the number in the text. A woman answered. Grace Haven Family Shelter, this is Carol. This is Dr. Robert Harrison. You texted me about my wife. Oh, Dr. Harrison. Yes. I'm so sorry to contact you this way, but Rebecca asked me to reach out. She checked in 4 days ago with your daughters Emily and Sarah. Why are they in a shelter? I don't understand. Carol's voice was gentle. Professional sympathy. According to our intake forms, there was a financial crisis. Medical bills. The house was sold to pay debts, but the money went to creditors. They didn't have anywhere else to go. Robert's mind spun. That's not. I have money. They have money. Rebecca was very clear that she wouldn't accept financial help from you. She said she needed to do this on her own. Can I speak to her? Please. Is she there? She's resting right now. The transition has been difficult, especially with her health condition. I'm coming there. Right now. Dr. Harrison, I should tell you, Rebecca specifically requested that we not contact you. But Emily felt you should know. Your daughters are very worried about their mother. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Sir, it's 8 p.m. Visiting hours ended at 6. You'll have to come tomorrow. I'm coming tonight. I can't allow that. Shelter policy. I don't care about your policy. That's my wife. Those are my daughters. Carol's voice firmed. Dr. Harrison, I understand you're upset. But our residents' safety and boundaries are our first priority. If you show up tonight against Rebecca's wishes, I'll have to call security. Come tomorrow during visiting hours. 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The line went dead. Robert stood there, phone in hand, as the presenter called his name from the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philadelphia Medical Association's Physician of the Year, Dr. Robert Harrison. Everyone started clapping. The spotlight swung toward the stage entrance where he should be walking. Robert looked at his phone. At the text message. At the career-defining moment waiting for him. And for the first time in 25 years, he chose. He walked out the back exit. Got in his car. Drove to Grace Haven Family Shelter on the other side of town. The building used to be a school. The brick outside was worn, and the lighting inside was harsh. The parking lot was full of old cars that had clearly been around a while. Robert sat in his Lexus, looking at the entrance. His wife was inside. Dying. In a homeless shelter. His daughters were inside. The brilliant, beautiful girls he'd worked so hard to give everything to. Who now had nothing because his everything had never been enough. He tried the front door. Locked. A security camera blinked red above the frame. Robert knocked. Waited. Knocked again. A security guard appeared, middle-aged man with tired eyes. He cracked the door. We're closed, sir. Visiting hours tomorrow. I'm Dr. Robert Harrison. My wife and daughters are residents here. I need to see them. Tomorrow. 10 a.m. Please. I just need 5 minutes. I won't disturb anyone. I just need to see that they're okay. The guard's face softened a little. I understand, doctor. But I have to follow the rules. The women here need their space, and your wife asked not to see anyone tonight. Come back tomorrow. She's sick. Very sick. I just need to know. She's resting. Your daughters are with her. They're safe. That's all I can tell you. The door closed. Robert stood in the parking lot, a man in a tuxedo outside a homeless shelter, locked out of his own family's life. He sat on the curb. Hours passed. Midnight came. 1 a.m. 2 a.m. At 3:15 a.m., the door opened. Emily stepped out, wrapped in a thin jacket, carrying a trash bag. She froze when she saw him. Dad. Robert stood, his tuxedo wrinkled, his bow tie undone. What are you doing here? I had to come. I had to see you. Emily looked at him with exhausted eyes. Eyes that looked like Rebecca's. You missed your award ceremony. I don't care about the award. Yes, you do. You've always cared about the awards. Not anymore. Emily let out a short laugh, but it wasn't funny. You might feel that way now. But tomorrow you'll second-guess it. You'll think about what it could have meant, the recognition, the chances that came with it. I regret a lot of things, Em. But coming here tonight won't be one of them. She studied him. Why now, Dad? Why finally choose us now when it's too late? It's not too late. Mom's dying. Actually dying. The doctors give her maybe 3 months. We're in a homeless shelter because the medical bills bankrupted us even after selling the house. I dropped out of law school to take care of her. Sarah dropped out of Yale. Everything you worked for, Everything you sacrificed for, it's gone. And you want to show up now and fix it. Yes. You can't fix this. I can try. Emily's expression fell. We needed you to try 20 years ago. We needed you to try when Mom first got sick. We needed you to try when she was begging you to come to her appointments. We needed you every single day of our lives and you were never there. I know. Robert's voice broke. I know I failed you. All of you. I thought I was building something that mattered. I thought providing was the same as loving. I thought if I just worked hard enough, sacrificed enough, achieved enough, it would all be worth it. I was so wrong. Yeah. You were. Tell me what I can do. Please. Tell me how to fix this. You can't fix this, Dad. That's what you never got. Mom isn't looking at 3 more months of treatment you can pay for. She's looking at 3 months to live. And she wants to spend that time in peace. No fighting. No false hope. And not watching you try to save her the same way you always did, the way that pushed you two apart in the first place. I love her. I know you do. But love without presence is just pain. And she's had enough pain. Sarah appeared in the doorway. Younger than Emily, but with the same exhausted strength. Em? Everything okay? Yeah. Dad's here. Sarah looked at Robert without expression. I can see that. Sarah, Robert started. Did you get fired? She asked. What? From the hospital. Did they fire you? Is that why you're here instead of at your ceremony? No. I left. I chose to leave. Sure you did. Sarah, I'm telling you the truth. I chose you. For once in my life, I chose my family. Sarah's laugh was sharp. Congratulations. You want a medal? Oh wait, you were supposed to get one tonight. She looked at Emily. Mom's asking for water. I'll be right there. Tell her Dad's out here trying to have a moment. Sarah, Emily warned. No. I'm tired of protecting his feelings. He doesn't get to feel bad. He doesn't get to be the hero who finally sees the light. He had 25 years to see it. Sarah looked at Robert. Mom's dying with nothing. No home. No money. No husband. Everything she gave up for you, for us, for this family, she's losing it all and dying in a homeless shelter. And you think showing up one night in your fancy tux makes it okay? I don't think it makes anything okay. Just what? You want forgiveness? You want us to say none of this was your fault? You want to make peace now so you don't have to feel so guilty? Sarah's voice started to rise. She loved you, Dad. She really did. And you broke her heart over and over and over. You chose strangers' children over your own family every single day. You want to know the worst part? What? She still loves you. Even now, dying with nothing, she still asks about you. Still hopes you're okay. Still makes excuses for why you're not here. And I hate it. I hate that she wastes her last bit of love on someone who never deserved it. The words landed like blows. Robert couldn't breathe. Sarah, that's enough, Emily said quietly. No. It's not. He needs to hear it. Sarah turned back to Robert. You can't make this better. You can't fix this. You can only do one thing. What? Stay away. Let her die in peace. Don't make her last months about managing your guilt and your feelings and your need to be the hero. Just let her go. Sarah went back inside. Emily lingered. She doesn't mean that, Robert said. Yes, she does. And she's not wrong. Emily's eyes filled with tears. But I can't tell you to stay away. Because despite everything, you're still my dad. And Mom's still your wife. And maybe you can't fix this. But maybe you can be here for it. Really here. Not as Dr. Harrison who saves everyone. Just as Robert. The man. The husband. The father. Can I see her? Tomorrow? I'll ask. But Dad, prepare yourself. She's not the woman you remember. The cancer, the chemo, the stress, it's destroyed her. She looks like she's already halfway gone. Robert nodded, unable to speak. Emily started to leave, then turned back. Your award ceremony. Did they give the award to someone else? I don't know. I don't care. You will. Tomorrow, when it's in the news that you didn't show. When your colleagues start calling. When the hospital asks questions. You'll care then. Maybe. But I'll still choose to be here. We'll see. She went inside. Robert sat back down on the curb. He stayed there until dawn broke over Philadelphia, watching the sky turn from black to gray to pink. At 7 a.m., his phone started ringing. The hospital. The awards committee. His attorney. Colleagues. Everyone wanting to know where he was, what happened, was he okay? He turned off his phone. At 9:45 a.m., he stood at the shelter entrance as they unlocked the doors. Carol, the woman from the phone, met him in the lobby. Dr. Harrison. I'm here to see my family. I know. Rebecca agreed to see you. But just you, not yet with the girls present. And only for 30 minutes. She's very weak. I understand. Carol led him down a hallway that smelled like strong cleaning supplies. They passed small rooms where families were staying for the time being. Some people were cooking on hot plates. Others sat quietly, looking through job listings. A few kids played on the floor with donated toys. His family was in a room at the end of the hall. Number 12. Carol knocked. Rebecca? He's here. Okay, came a voice Robert barely recognized. Thin. Exhausted. Carol opened the door. 30 minutes. Robert stepped inside. The room was small. 2 sets of bunk beds. A shared dresser. A window that looked out on a parking lot. Emily and Sarah sat on one bottom bunk. And on the other, wrapped in blankets despite the warm room, was Rebecca. She had lost a lot of weight. At least 40 pounds. The dark hair he used to run his fingers through was gone. Her skin looked pale and tired. But when she looked at him, her eyes were the same ones he'd fallen in love with 26 years earlier. Hi, Robert. He couldn't speak. Couldn't move. The woman he'd built his life around, reduced to this. Because of him. Because of choices he'd made. Because of priorities he'd set. You can come in, she said gently. I won't bite. Don't have the strength for it anymore. He sat in a plastic chair beside her bed. Emily and Sarah watched from across the room, silent guardians. You look good, Rebecca said. Tux fits well. Becca. I'm sorry I made Carol text you. I told her not to. But Emily insisted. She glanced at their oldest daughter. She said you deserve to know. Of course I deserve to know. I'm your husband. Are you? Rebecca's smile was sad. The divorce will be final next month. You won't be my husband anymore. You'll just be the man I used to be married to. We can stop the divorce. I'll call the lawyers right now. Why would we do that? Because I love you. Because we're a family. Rebecca laughed, a wet, painful sound. Robert, we stopped being a family years ago. We were just living under the same roof, sharing a last name, telling ourselves that was the same as being a family, pretending connection was the same as love. That's not true. Isn't it? She leaned back against her pillow. Tell me something about me. Something real. Not my dress size or my favorite color you'd remember from our wedding. Something about who I am now. Today. Robert opened his mouth. Closed it. His mind was blank. Rebecca nodded. You can't. Because you don't know me anymore. You know a version of me from 20 years ago. The woman who believed in your dream. Who sacrificed her career, her identity, her life to support yours. But that woman died a long time ago. You just never noticed. I'm noticing now. Too late, my love. Too late. The words hung in the air. Final. True. Why did you end up here? Robert asked. In a shelter? You should have called me. I have money. I could have. Your money's tied up in the divorce. And the house, it barely covered the medical bills. The rest went to pay debts. There wasn't anything left. And I wasn't going to come to you for help after spending 25 years just trying to get your time. You should have begged. Robert's voice broke. Your pride isn't worth dying in a homeless shelter. It's not about pride, Rebecca said, her voice quiet but steady. It's about dignity. I needed to know I could stand on my own. That I was more than just part of your success. And I can. Even here. Even now. I have my daughters. I still have my self-respect. And I'm at peace. Peace? You're in a homeless shelter. And I'm not alone. My girls are with me. They chose me. They gave up their futures to be here with me in my last months. That's more than you ever did. The accusation hung between them. Sarah spoke from her bunk. Dad, do you know what Mom did before you met her? Robert looked at Rebecca. She was a social worker. Before that. What did she want to be? He didn't know. Had never known. Had never asked. Rebecca gave a small smile. I wanted to be a writer. Fiction. Stories about people most folks don't notice. I had half a novel written when I met you. I put it aside to help with your career. I always thought I'd get back to it. She nodded toward a notebook on the dresser. I started again a few weeks ago. I probably won't finish it. But I wanted to try. Robert felt tears he hadn't cried in years burn behind his eyes. I didn't know. I know you didn't. That's the tragedy, Robert. You loved me. I believe that. But you never knew me. You never wanted to know me beyond how I fit into your vision of success. I'm sorry. I know you are. And I forgive you. I've forgiven you for a long time. But forgiveness doesn't mean I want you back. It just means I'm not angry anymore. I'm just tired. She started coughing, a deep, rattling sound. Emily rushed over with water. Sarah rubbed Rebecca's back. When the coughing subsided, Rebecca looked at Robert with exhausted eyes. You should go. No. Please. Let me stay. Let me help. I can? You can't help, Robert. That's what you need to understand. My story is ending. And you're not in the final chapters. You're a memory from the beginning. A beautiful memory, but still just a memory. You're my wife. I was your wife. Now I'm just a woman you used to know. She reached out, her hand skeletal and cold. Robert took it, feeling how much strength she had lost. Go build something new. Find someone who can fit into the life you built. Someone who doesn't need you to be different than you are. I don't want someone else. I want you. You want the idea of me. The woman who made you feel less alone when you were fighting to prove yourself. But I'm not that woman anymore. I'm just tired and sick and ready to rest. Becca. I mean it, Robert. I'm letting you go. I'm giving you permission to stop feeling guilty. To stop trying to fix this. To accept that some things break and stay broken. It's okay. It's not okay. Then make it okay. Make peace with it. Make peace with me. Make peace with yourself. She squeezed his hand weakly. Your 30 minutes are up. Carol will be back any second. Right on cue, Carol knocked on the door. Robert stood, still holding Rebecca's hand. Can I come back tomorrow? Rebecca's eyes were already closing. If you want. But Robert? Don't come as Dr. Harrison. Don't come to fix or save or rescue. If you come back, come as just a man. A flawed, broken man who loved someone and lost them. That's the only version of you I have energy for. Okay. And Robert. Her eyes opened one more time. Your award. The one you missed. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. The only thing that matters is whether the people who love you feel loved back. And we didn't. That's your real failure. Not anything you could have done better at work. Just that you forgot to love us out loud. Carol opened the door. Robert walked out in a daze. Dr. Robert Harrison didn't go back to work for 3 months. The next day, he called the hospital and resigned. His colleagues thought he was making a huge mistake. The board tried to change his mind. They offered time off, a leave, anything to keep him. But Robert was done. Done chasing validation from people who didn't know his daughter's birthdays. Done building a legacy that required him to sacrifice the only legacy that mattered. He found a small apartment near Grace Haven Shelter and began helping out there. Not as a doctor, they already had doctors. He did repairs, helped people with schoolwork, and fixed things around the building. The kind of problems that had nothing to do with medicine. He saw Rebecca 3 times a week. Never as her husband. Never as the man trying to win her back. Just as Robert. A man who'd loved her and failed her and was learning to sit with both truths. Emily and Sarah slowly, still holding back, let him back in. Not as the father they'd needed. But as the father he was finally becoming. Imperfect. Present. Trying. Rebecca died on a Tuesday morning in October. 63 days after Robert walked out of his award ceremony. She died in the shelter, in that small room with the window overlooking the parking lot. Emily on one side, Sarah on the other, holding her hands as she took her last breath. Robert was in the hallway. Rebecca had asked him not to be in the room. Said she wanted her last sight to be her daughters, the ones who'd chosen her. But she'd left him a letter. Emily handed it to him after, her face streaked with tears. Robert. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. Don't be sad. I'm ready. I've made peace with my life, with my choices, with you. I'm writing this to tell you something I never could say to your face, thank you. Thank you for loving me the only way you knew how. Thank you for providing when you thought providing was enough. Thank you for trying, even when your trying looked nothing like what I needed. You're not a bad man, Robert. You're just a man who made bad choices. There's a difference. Please don't waste the rest of your life feeling guilty. Don't build monuments to my memory or dedicate your work to me. Just live. Really live. Be present for someone. Anyone. Learn the lesson I couldn't teach you, that success without love is just expensive loneliness. Our daughters are extraordinary. Not because of anything we did, but despite everything we didn't do. Be there for them. Not as Dr. Harrison. As Dad. The messy, imperfect, present dad they deserved all along. I forgive you. Please forgive yourself. All my love, Becca. Robert read the letter 3 times. Then folded it carefully and put it in his wallet, where it stayed for the rest of his life. He never went back to medicine. Never performed another surgery. Never won another award. Instead, he became a permanent volunteer at Grace Haven. Eventually became the director. Spent the last 15 years of his life helping families like the one he'd lost. Making sure no one else had to choose between a career and being present. Emily became a public defender. Sarah became a teacher. Both married. Both had children. Both let Robert be a grandfather in ways he'd never been a father. And on quiet nights, when he sat in his small apartment overlooking the shelter he'd come to call home, Robert thought about that award ceremony. About the trophy he never collected. About the recognition he'd chased for decades. And he felt only gratitude that he'd finally chosen right. Dr. Robert Harrison learned that some achievements matter and some achievements last, and they're rarely the same thing. He learned that presence is the only currency that matters in the end. He learned that you can save 1,000 lives and still lose the only ones that count. And he learned that the greatest success is not being remembered by strangers, but being mourned by the people who knew you best. If this story touched your heart, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss stories that reveal life's deepest truths. Drop a comment below and tell us, what lesson are you taking from Robert's journey? And if you believe someone needs to hear this, share it with them. Sometimes a story can change everything. Next time, we bring you a tale of a woman who built an empire, a daughter who wanted nothing to do with it, and a secret that connected them both in ways neither could have imagined. You won't want to miss it.